So far, the 2017 World Championship Tour has seen the rise of an inspiration.
Colin Wright, your new world number one, and one of the best comeback stories we could ever imagine.
The confirmation of a legacy.
John Florence now finding some barrel time.
Oh my goodness, John Florence, victorious at the Drugaware Market River Pro.
Renewed confidence.
Geordie Smith up, a huge float to start this ride.
Off the bottom, layback snap.
It's your 2017 Red Curl Bells Beach Pro Champion, Geordie Smith.
And the realisation of dreams.
Adriano de Souza, multiple maneuvers, vertical on this inside steeper section. Rio Pro champion, Adriano de Souza.
Now, the focus shifts to the famous reef passes surrounding what has become the embodiment of the Dream Tour, Tavarua. The thunderous playing field of Cloudbreak.
Now Kelly, still driving.
And the razor-edge perfection of restaurants administer equal amounts of glory.
Can he come out?
And peril. This is the outer-known Fiji Pro.
Welcome to the outer known Fiji Pro. We are into the men's action. Round number one, heat number one, three-man non-elimination. Of course, the prize skipping that dreaded round number two and vaulting into round number three. Kaipagura along with 89 world champ Martin Potter for the call. And we are getting into the guys after seeing a women's champ crown Potts, that in Courtney Conlogue's second win of the 2017 season for Courtney.
Yeah, what a excuse me, what an absolutely gutsy performance from both those young ladies. You know, tricky conditions out there this morning, and Tatiana was just hunting the barrel. Courtney was going for that big end section maneuver, and both young ladies paying for it. Courtney coming out on top, but this is what's happened so far this morning. In heat number one, Joan Daru, obviously that double grab, just holding himself in the face of the wave. Chloe Andino, a couple of rolls of the dice. This one here maybe just not quite deep enough, so small scores at the moment for all three surfers. Chloe Andino biting off a little bit more than he could chew here, slowing down a little bit too much. And you could see him getting sucked up and over, but this so far is the wave of the morning, a 5.334 Italo Ferreira. Good to see him back after an injury, quite a long period that he has taken off, and it's good to see him back at 100%.
Italo Ferreira with the early lead in this heat. Italo Potts, of course, as you said, he's been out the last three events with an injury. He did open up stop number one at Snapper Rocks with a quarterfinal finish, so it looked like he was poising himself for a great 2017, injured his ankle there in a free surf and has been on the mend, but it's really good to see Italo back here at Fiji.
100%, and you know, that's backside air rotation that we saw from him on the Gold Coast was a touch shy of unbelievable. So good to see him back at 100%, and a wave that he has done some damage in the past, taking down Kelly Slater in solid 8-foot cloud break conditions. A wave that everyone thought maybe he was going to struggle with, but not to be. This guy is amazing, as is Chloe Andino. He's had some good results here in the past as well.
Chloe Andino had a runner-up finish in stop number two at Margaret River. However, has been struggling in the last couple events. A 13th over at Bells and a second round loss, a 25th over in Sakurema for the Rio Pro. So this is a time for Chloe to claw back on the Jeep leaderboard. He's currently number 7, Potts, and much has been expected of Chloe Andino, and this could be his year, but he's going to have to start it right now.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good year so far, and then that bad result in Sakurema. So you know, he's back on track, and it's a wave that he knows well. Joan Daru, rookie on tour. I expect him to do well here as well. Big solid kid, Kaipo.
Yeah, we have 6 surfers in the rookie class in 2017, and Joan Daru, the eldest at age 28 coming through, has a slow start. He had a 25th first stop, 25th the second stop, a 13th over in Bells, but then again to second round loss, another 25th over in the Rio Pro. So Joan is going to have to make some ground here, but like you said, Potts, he should be excellent. Great tube rider. He's going to be on his forehand. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Frenchman brings to the table.
Yeah, big solid kid, you know, loves these kind of conditions. Surfs, honed his skills in on those beach breaks in the southwest of France. So I'm looking for some big things from this guy here. Obviously a left-hand tube ride, so it may favor the goofy footers. Because of the fact that it's not fully open here this morning, there is those sections that are clamping, so on your backhand you get to weave not as much. You sort of got to hold your line a bit more. On your front side you get to pull up and drive through those tube rides. So I'm looking at more completions from the goofy footers, maybe a few more backside snaps that are going to really come into play for the natural footers.
Let's take another look at the highest single wave score so far in this opening heat of the Outer Known Fiji Pro. Here's Italo Ferreira.
Yeah, we talk about the wave clamping just that little bit. You can see he pulls in and then it shuts down at the end, but Italo Ferreira managing to take that high line and drive through that section. So just a testament to how tough and how strong this kid is. And then to finish off nicely. So that injury doesn't look like it's hindering him at all. I think he's back at 100%. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to make sure that you really do fix the injury. You really do make sure you're 100% before you come back, because especially at a place like this, it is so easy to tweak yourself again. As we saw both young ladies in the finals, there were some heavy wipeouts, and your body's got to be ready for that.
Sharp, live reef, coral bottom underneath. The wave at Cloudbreak, you can see Italo opening up with that quarterfinal and then just to spin out. So good to see him back in the mix here. But that is one of the dangers out here. Something to always be aware of is that live coral reef.
I don't think it's too much in the back of their minds. I think they're so focused on riding the wave, you know, with that jet ski assist, that last turn. You know, when you're out there free surfing, you're not necessarily going for that. You want to get out of that wave before it shuts down that shallow reef. But in a heat situation, you know you've got that jet ski assist, so you go for it. You know, you tend to stamp your authority on that wave and really do try and put an extra couple of points on your ride. So, and then get the jet ski back out. So it's not as you know, it's not as critical. So in a free surf, these guys wouldn't be really going for that last turn. In a heat situation, 100%.
Well, we've seen in the past Italo just stomping closing maneuvers there in mere inches of water, riding over almost a dry reef just to secure those scores. And so we're expecting nothing less from the goofy foot Brazilian out here.
Yeah. You know, in the past we were saying, you know, look, there's certain waves on the planet where you can't go to the air. You have to stick your ball on the face of the wave. It's more about the tube ride. It's more about that commitment. And here it was one of those waves that we used to talk about and say, look, this is one wave where you're not going to be looking for the airs. You're looking for the tube ride. You're looking for some big open face turns. But now these guys are just flying through the air. Gabriel Medina last year, big alley-oops right at that end section in 1 or 2 foot of water. So these guys don't really care about that reef. And it's almost like it's not even in the back of their mind, you know. It's just going for it. And I think that's the kind of frame of mind you have to have out here. No hesitations whatsoever.
Well, after some pretty quiet days at Cloudbreak, when the men showed up, so did the swell, and the free surfs were just blazing out here as the guys just got straight into the mix, and we could see that performance level and also just the excitement level from the men's field coming into this opening day. View from high up above, our drone shot. And a paddle. And it looks like this end section, Italo is going to tuck under, pulls into this barrel. Can he find an exit? And that one's just going to run away from Ferreira.
Well, you can hear the thunder of the wave, and it breaks with immense power on that reef. Very deceptive, Kaipo. You were out there yesterday, and your first trip here, you know, obviously a wave that comes out of deep water, and it packs a lot of punch, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I was loving it. We got Joan up right. You can see his silhouette through the lip, and you can see some travel time for Joan Duru. Unfortunately, again, no exit, so that's going to go down as a small score. It looks like it's just going to be a fractional score under a point, so he's going to have to keep things going with 20 minutes and 30 seconds on the countdown.
Yeah, obviously everyone looking for the tube ride here this morning. That is what Cloudbreak's known for. You know, you want to do turns, but you want that barrel.
Well, It is time to crown a champ. We have on the officials boat Barton Lynch with the finalists of the Outer Known Fiji Women's Pro. Barton, take it away.
Thank you, Kaipo. Yes, we're here on the boat. Our finalists, give them a round of applause. Tatiana Weston-Webb and Courtney Conlog. What a final. We waited for those waves. We certainly got the waves. Let's get right into it. I want to introduce the charge d'affaires, Doug Sonic, to come and help me present the runner-up trophy to Tatiana Weston-Webb. Congratulations, Tatiana. Beautiful trophy there. Tachi, tell us about that final.
Yeah, it was definitely really challenging. I definitely just wanted to put on a show for you guys. I'm sure you guys probably laughed a few times, but yeah, I just really wanted to get barreled because I knew that's what they were going to score, and unfortunately I just didn't make it out of a few of mine, and Courtney relied on turns, and it was smart strategy, but I was just waiting for that one that never came. So.
No laughs. There was lots of hoots and lots of stoke on the boat. Tell us about that one where you got to the bottom and that lip just smashed. It was heavy.
Honestly, I don't remember. I just I don't know. I just wanted to get barreled. That was the sole purpose of that heat, and I did get barreled, but I never made it out of any. But yeah, I just wanted to push it and show everyone that anything's possible and not to have fear and just to believe in yourself, and that's what I tried to do.
You certainly did that, and first final of the year, got to be stoked with a second even.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I mean, regardless of second or first, I think I'd still be the same amount of happiness, and I think that Courtney is definitely pushing all the women harder than ever, and yeah, I commend you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Congratulations, Tachi. Well done again. And we'll bring in our Deputy Commissioner, Jessie Miley-Dyer, to help us with the presentation for the winner, your winner of the 2017 Outer Known Fiji Women's Pro, Courtney Conlog. Yoo-hoo!
Here we go.
The Corona's getting thrown around. Court. Must feel good. It's been a long wait. Second win of the year. Great victory. Well done.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this event's always had a really special spot in my heart, and there's just been so many winners here that are amazing, and this location's phenomenal. It's one of the best left-hand point breaks, well, reef breaks in the world, and yeah, really stoked WSL did what they did today, and thank you, Jessie, for really supporting us women. You know, we're pushing that change and, you know, being strong for all the women out there and just going for it. And, you know, the conditions were definitely tricky, but we were stoked to get into a couple. And, yeah, we'll see where everything goes. It's always exciting.
Well, let's talk world title races. 2 wins out of 5 events put you in a strong position.
Yeah, 2 wins. That's a great way to turn things around. And, you know, I've just been working with Luke, and I have a really great support team around me. And really honored to have the team that I have, and you know, just learning a lot, and constantly, even this year, I was just like, wow, this is a learning moment right here. And you know, having that final with Tati, she's definitely one of those athletes that goes for it and pushes herself under the ledge, and yeah, really honored to share a final.
And listen, we know how much it means to you to win these ones. Look at these girls, great vibes all around. It's been an amazing week, hasn't it? Tell me, how much does this mean to you, really, deep down inside? We know what it means.
Deep down?
Deep down.
I can't even say it on air. Heck yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm fired up, and to win an event like this, you know, Joanne, she's won it, Sally's won it, so many amazing champions have won this event, so I'm really honored to be holding this trophy and to take this trophy home. So yeah, very thankful.
Well, there you have it, the presentation. Our 2 champions, Tatiana Weston-Webb, and the victor on the day, Courtney Conlog. Congratulations, ladies. Back to you guys.
And also a special thanks to Jeep, Corona, the island of Tavarua, and our neighbors across the channel at Namotu. We also like to pay our respects to Chief Druku, who has left us, but his spirit has absolutely graced us, and already this year with amazing weather, waves, and this wonderful family. Aka has taken over as the tremendous successor. Thank you, Aka, for the whole Fijian family for all of the support and love that we have here on beautiful Tavarua Island Resort and our neighbor in Namotu. What a special, special place, and congratulations again to Courtney Conlon.
Yeah, amazing. You know, and truly tested as well in all kinds of conditions, in the smaller waves. But have a look at this. Talk about waves.
Back to here, under the curl, in the tube, and out. Italo Ferreira winds down, comes off the top for a nice carve. So he's going to combo this thing up. Barrel ride and some beautiful carves on the open face. Maybe more on the inside. This wave really doubles up. Some air under the board, and he punches out the back. So well-surfed wave for Italo Ferreira. We had a couple of waves ridden during that final presentation. Plus, I'm sure we're going to get back to them. But the plot is thickening as Kalohe Andino has taken over the lead for the moment.
Yeah, for the moment, 5.90. And that wave was just a straight pedal to the metal. I love waves like that. It was one of those straighter waves. You could see just not any opportunity to do any kind of turn. Expect just get that high line. Now he grabs a rail, pulls in, driving through that section. I love tubes like that. You know, not slowing down, not having to manufacture it. Just a straight shot from start to finish, 100 miles an hour. I love it. Kalohe Andino, 5.90. And I think it stayed in that mid-range because it wasn't quite as deep as maybe he wanted to. But there was no opportunity to slow down there, Kaipo. He had to go pedal to the metal. And then Italo Ferreira, a 5.33 on his first wave. Nice fading bottom turn, and then drives through that section. So good positioning, good timing. And then this is what I like about Italo. He doesn't give up on a wave. He just keeps rattling off turns. That ankle looks fine. He looks solid on his feet. Showing stuff that we've seen from him in the past, just tail tapping drop. So milking that one all the way through to the inside. And it's going to be another good score for Italo Ferreira. 13 minutes remaining. He's going to get that lead back and apply a bit more pressure on his opponents. The thing I like about Italo surfing is the rail turn. I mean, he's known for his air game, but he's kind of, for me, the modern day Tom Carroll. Real stocky, real strong, just real solid on his feet, and has a lot of game, that's for sure.
6.1 on that last wave for Ferreira, so he now takes the lead. Kalohe Andino in the red jersey needing a 5.54 to overcome Ferreira, and Joan Duru needing a 9.36, a big score up in the excellent range if he wants to skip that dreaded round of number 2.
Yeah, Joan Duru, I mean, look where he's sitting. He's sitting way down the line. He's looking for those barrels. You sit further up the top and you kind of get that chip shot in, and you get to rattle off a few more turns before you hit that inside section. Here's one of those ones that you don't want. It kind of splits into two. There's two different swells running at the moment, so you have to identify the good ones.
Well, we're going to take a break right now, but we're going to be back to see who's going to skip this round 1 into round number 3. Will it be Ferreira, Andino, Duru? We'll find out after this break. Welcome back to the outer known Fiji Pro, a beautiful shot of the restaurant here on Tavarua Island Resort, an idyllic setting. And here's to live action out at Cloudbreak with Italo Ferreira pulling in, and that wave just thunders down the line no exit for our heat leader. Wave behind, and here is Kolohe Andino. Grabbing the rail, stalling, pulls under the lip, traveling. Another section for Andino, travels through that one. Now, what's he got for us on the open face? Has to kind of get through a little bit of a warble section here. Weaving down the line. Looks for more barrel time, and this wave is really doubling up. Has to pin drop as the water runs out on the inside section, but a great barrel section on the outside for Andino.
Yeah, I like it, you know, from Kolohe. He knows that that's the tube ride is what it's going to take to beat Italo Ferreira. 6.10 is the highest score at the moment. And that last wave from Kolohe Andino, 5.10. Now, let's have a look. You can see how he slows himself down, using part of his body to try and get as deep as possible. Can still see him. And I think that's why that stayed at a 5.10 was the fact that he didn't quite disappear. He didn't spend too much time behind the curtain, so the judges identifying that. And a 5.10, not enough to get himself in the lead, but a step in the right direction for Kolohe Andino, looking for a 5.54. Joan Daru is the worry, though, at the moment. You can see Kolohe there just slowing himself down. I think the judges prefer it when you go flying through a tube ride. It looks way more dynamic, a little bit more exciting. And I think Joan Daru needs to get the ball rolling here. So 9.36, he's fallen way behind, just a 2.07, and that's how tricky it is out there this morning. It's quite easy to paddle out on a day like today and sit for a couple of hours and get some good ones, but to try and get 2 good waves in a matter of 30 minutes out here is a very difficult thing to do.
Gosh, Potts, you know what? You're pretty good at sitting out there and getting the good ones, because that's the patient game, right? And you're able to identify that. But to your point, you got 30 minutes, so you got to get busy. And sometimes you can't wait for, you know, that pick of the litter. You just got to go and keep the rotation going. That's what Kolohe Andino did. 5.1, though, however, is not enough for Kolohe to go into the lead. The lead still held by Italo Ferreira. As you said, 9.36 is the need for Joan Daru, but he does have priority. You can see that by the white P by his name. Well, now it's time to check out Waz in the channel. Strider Wazalewski, give us your perspective, Strider.
Well, we've had a few really good waves ridden from the channel, from the boats. It looked like Kolohe was getting the better of the exchange, but from the beach, the tower, you can actually see how deep they are, how fast they are, how long they stay in the tube. Italo, he got a yarn from his man in the water, Richard Dogmarsh. Pretty much let him have it. Said, what are you doing in here? Get out the back and find yourself a good wave, and that's just what happened. Had him get back out the back with Kolohe. Seems to be they've identified that's where the best waves are, and they're finding some really long, beautiful rides. And then Kolohe backing up his wave, getting a really nice tube. You know, there's really great waves out here. It's just a matter of finding them because they're so far out the back to get onto them. You really think you're not in position, but if you just keep out the back, you can find it. There's a big lull in between sets, so really kind of sticking to your game plan, understanding where you're at on the reef and positioning. It's really tough. But if you know where you're at, you're going to find yourself some beautiful waves.
Well, Strider, where should these surfers be? Where would you say would be the optimum spot right now?
I think out the back there on that ledge, and I think they're, you know, the 3 surfers are kind of approaching that area now. We've seen Kolohe on a good wave there. We saw Italo on a good wave, and Joan's been trying to hunt around the inside, but I don't think it's worth it. I think staying out the back, you can find a wave that actually tubes on the bigger ones out there, as well as the smaller ones are absolutely rippable. So if you take a good look at a long-range camera zone from right now, you'll see a set approaching. You'll see a lot of water out the back moving. You'll see so many different sections out there that are all surfable, and if you can find yourself out there on a few of those, you can absolutely go to town either in the barrel or in the lip, and then they're lining up through the inside. The whole wave is connecting right now, so it's a beautiful go. Here we go right now. Look at this thing. Joan's found himself a beauty. Let's see if he can, oh, he's gonna stuff it inside. Is he coming out? Ladies and gents, blown through the tube and finds the lip in the head. I can't believe it. Unfortunate. Let's get back to the booth. Look at this bomb, boys.
Thank you, Strider. And the view from the channel from Mr. Wazalewski, as we see Italo Ferreira starting to stall, now has to put the gas pedal, pulling through this long section, travels, the wave spits, breathes, and a no exit. So a couple of nice tubes right behind him. Kolohe Andino speeding down the line, grabbing the rail, tucking under. There's the section he was looking for, and just a beating for Andino on that end section,
All
collapsing on
three
him.
beatings, all three guys paying the price. And those are the kind of waves that will break your board, that will break your body, that will crush your spirit. This place is not for the faint-hearted, especially those kind of waves. You know, the whole thing is you can see them coming, you can see it setting up, and you think to yourself, you know, do I want this? Do I really want this? And you've got to commit to it, because sometimes you come out of those and it's the wave of your life.
Talk us a little through what happens when you don't come out of a running barrel like that at Cloudbreak.
Well, you just got to pray you don't come in contact with the bottom. You know, it's all these guys are very well versed in the art of wiping out. I think that's what a lot of people, you know, you got the average surfer and you got the pros, you got the best surfers in the world. These guys know how to wipe out. They know how to fall. Italo Ferreira, look at this thing. It is just flying down the line. It is open wide and over the foam ball. That thing just ate him up and spat him out. Once that lip hits the water, there's all this white water shooting up the face of the wave. Joan Duru, I thought he was coming out of this. Maybe just slowed down a little bit too much. You know, once that wave unloads, you need to have that down the line speed. You need to have a bit of momentum. If not, it is just going to eat you up. And right here, you can see just up and over the foam ball, it just literally pulls that board from underneath your feet. You can see Matty Wilco, hands on the head, and then Chloe Andino. This was just an absolute Hail Mary. There was no exit on this one, but Chloe, I'll give him credit. I'll give him A for effort. I'll give him A for guts. And wow, that was just a very powerful, very scary wave through that inside. It gets shallower and shallower as it goes down the line, and it unloads, and you absolutely pay for that. That means, let me tell you, that'll really test your skills. It'll test your breath holding. It'll test your mettle on whether or not you want another one like that. That's for sure.
Wow, what an exchange. However, when we look at numbers, the situation remains the same. 1.93 for Chloe Andino, a 2.4 for Italo Ferreira, and a 1.87 for Joan Duru, who needs a 9.36. And time is counting down. Leader of the heat also has first priority, as you can see with the blue P next to Italo's name. So this is what we call heat control.
100%. This is what you want. You want the lead. You want priority going into the back part of the heat. You want to be able to control that last sort of 2.5 or so minutes. So Italo Ferreira has got himself in a really good position. Even though Chloe Andino, he's only looking for a 5.54, so that is not a huge score. But when you look at what's been going down, you look at his scores that he's got. That 5.9 was a straight shot barrel. He's going to need something in that range, and there is not a lot of those out there. I mean, that last set just absolutely unloaded, and the ocean kind of takes a little bit of a break. It swells like this. We know from yesterday, when that swell starts growing, you have these moments when you know, you just got to really sort of you know, hold your line, hold your place on the lineup, and hope for the best.
Well, let's check in with Barton Lynch. Barton.
Yes, mate. I suppose the interesting thing is that people are going for 9s and 10s. That's the focus. The potential's there. The judges have held those scores back because they know the potential of this wave. And so when people are going for 10, 8, 9s and 10s, chances are you might not make it. So both the women's final and this first heat of the men's, we've seen that 6s and 7s would have won it, but people have been going for those 9s and 10s, and they're short on their two-wave scores, and 6s and 7s would have won you the heat. So at some point, someone's got to combine those two approaches. Start your heat in a consistent fashion, get your couple of 7s, get them in the bank, and then go for the 9s or 10s so you don't come up half-hearted at the end.
That is a great outlook from Barton Lynch, and you know, I think it's human nature, Potts. When the waves are just cranking like this, it's almost human nature that to just go for it, and you want that 9 or 10. But again, this is the game of surfing. It's a contest. You have to put together a heat. You need to get some scores.
Yeah, you got to, you know, you're not looking for a video clip. You're not looking for the shot. You know, you're looking for the score, and I think there's a big difference there. But you know, in saying that, it's, you know, it's the heat of the moment. You know, you want to get as deep as possible. You want to get those you know, big scores. You want to make it through your heat. But round one, no one loses, so you can afford to have a bit of a go. This is literally all the boys arrived yesterday, so. You know, this is kind of the first little taste for a lot of these guys on this trip. So you've got to reacquaint yourself with the wave.
Heat leader Ferreira using his priority. High line, down the line, long stretching wall. Fins come a little bit disengaged and the wave just closes out, so that's not going to help his cause, but he is going to remain in the lead, and the clock's just ticking down. So Italo looking very, very likely to skip that round number 2 and come back from an injury in a brilliant fashion, winning his opening heat, the opening day of the Outer Known Fiji Pro. So that's the way to come back from an injury.
Yeah, absolutely. Italo Ferreira just showing us why he's, you know, started the year with the 5th place. Obviously, 3 injuries, 3 missed events back-to-back due to the injury, but he's well and truly back on track. And good to see Italo Ferreira back on tour. I mean, this kid is amazing, especially in waves like this. And I'll tell you what, he took a massive barrel, took a big wipeout, and you can see that ankle strapped up. So obviously not scared to go for it.
Just a warrior in Italo Ferreira, so congratulations. And that's going to be Kolohe Andino as well as Joan Daroug. We're going to see them in round number 2 here at the Outer Known Fiji Pro. When we come back, Matt Wilkinson, Jeremy Flores, and Ethan Ewing, heat number 2 coming your way.